Welcome to Once Upon a Real Life with Belle. This podcast is proudly supported by our friends at ActiveFlex, the Australian family-owned and manufactured gel designed for long-lasting relief of sore muscles and joints. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and leave a comment so you never miss an episode and can join in the conversation. Meet Kimberly and Michelle, the Soul Sisters Supernatural. Two sisters by blood, united by their passion for the unknown. Based in Rhode Island, they travel across the US and beyond, investigating and researching stories that defy explanation. And they share the mysteries of the supernatural on their Instagram. Together, they bring a mix of intuition and logic, a medium and a sensitive who are skeptical believers. Their rule: keep it light, have fun, and always look for natural explanations before calling it paranormal. Welcome, Kimberly and Michelle.
Thank you.
Hello.
I must say, I'm so excited to have this chat today. I'll say 80% of my podcast episodes, my very last question to every guest. The reason I say 80%, the other 20% are quite serious podcasts. They're about my passion, which is foster care and children. So I don't put this question at the end of those, but all of the other ones. My question is, have you seen a ghost or a UFO? Because I have never seen either, and I want to, and I'm always looking. It's predominantly ghosts that people have seen, and the UFOs are getting up there too now. So our whole episode will be, tell me about the ghosts.
Well, we have a lot to tell you then. I've definitely witnessed a ghost. I've seen a ghost. I actually have some pictures too. And Belinda, if you wanted, I can send them to you after the podcast that you can publish if you want. They're pretty cool pictures, but I've got that. But yes, I did my first real interaction with a spirit. I was probably around, I want to say 13 or 14. And we were in our house at the time. I was upstairs in my room, laying in bed, and we had, those handles that are the longer handles. It started to kind of jitter, like it was jiggling. And then I looked, just thinking maybe my mom or somebody was coming into the room, and the door swung open and I see this woman in white, and she just started walking. And then she looked over at me. She walked towards the window, and I covered my head with my blanket, peeking out a little bit. And then I look back over, she looks directly at me and smiles, but it wasn't a creepy smile. It was like, I'm here for you kind of smile. And then she just disappeared. And I was just astounded. I mean, I didn't know what I had just witnessed, but it was one of the few things that definitely got my interest going. And Michelle will tell you too. I mean, we kind of grew up in a haunted house, so we dealt with a lot of stuff as kids. So a lot of stuff, movements, anything like that, were pretty second nature to us. We weren't always we weren't afraid. But seeing her did scare me a little bit, I have to admit. I felt almost now like she was a guardian or a family member, like an ancestor. The way she looked at me was with care and love. It wasn't something that was scary.
That's my best one yet. Right there. Michelle, the two of you grew up in a haunted house. Tell me about the house.
So our parents bought a house. It was a brand new development. We found out that it used to be an apple orchard from a pretty prominent family back in the day here in Rhode Island. And we found out that they pulled all the graves up and moved them. So at the edge of our court was a now historical graveyard with all the graves that they had dug up. It was all family from this orchard. Every house in that court was haunted. I babysat, so I was in the other houses. But our own house, we had doors opening and slamming. We had things flying across the room. We would see shadow figures, hear our names called. I used to see these red eyes in my bedroom at night, which was so scary. Always in the corner, but I would turn the light on and it would be gone. And I mean, this was back in the 80s, Kim? I mean, it was a long time ago. We didn't have all this technology and, all of that going on. And we lived in the woods. We had woods in the back of our house. And that went on the whole time we were living there. I mean, my sisters were petrified because things would literally fly across the room and smash. And our parents didn't believe us, which is fair, I guess.
So the parents never saw a thing.
No, they did not.
Even if they did, Belle,
Wow.
they wouldn't have admitted it. Their parents are very strict Christians, so they would have put it
Yeah.
off to something else. They did
Yeah.
not want to believe that there were spirits. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
I know that there is many books around this and research, but children are the connectors. They're the ones that see and hear. And generally, it's said that adults grow out of that and they're not unable to see it.
I wish.
Oh, well, okay. Okay. Some adults who haven't had your experience. But I will say, Michelle, we built a house. My family, my husband and children and I built a house 16 years ago. So brand new home. And my children heard their name whispered the whole time we lived there.
Really?
They would say, this is one was 16, one was 12, and the other one was 5 years old. Independently, they would tell me, one of them had told me this big, long winded story about a ghost. And I kind of brushed it off because, like I was saying, adults like your parents do that. Unfortunately, I did that. And then my oldest daughter, who's quite a serious girl, and then she said it to me one day. She said she saw a shadow walking past her room and then into the bathroom, and that she hears her name on the wind. And I said, what does that mean? And she said, don't you hear your name on the wind? I said, babe, I've never, ever heard my name on the wind. So that's independent. They were not together
No.
when either of them told me. And then my little boy, who was 5, his toy box in his room used to fall out of the cupboard all the time onto the floor. And I thought he was doing it, playing tricks on me. Because I'd put him to bed and then I'd be downstairs and I'd hear the toy box fall and I'd run up there about to go, what are you doing? Get back into bed. He'd be asleep. He was already asleep. So it wasn't him. Another time I went in there and it had fallen out while he was awake. And I started helping him put the toys back in. And he said, can you stop calling my name? I said, what do you mean? He goes, you're always saying, Marshall, Marshall. And I'm like, babe, I'm not calling you. That is when I was like, petty drop. There's something here. And I've got a fantastic tea leaf reader who's the psychic. And she came out and she confirmed that it was an Indigenous spirit. And we moved.
Wow.
A couple of years later, we moved. Not because of that. I wanted to move closer to the city. But this house that we're in now is 86 years old. And I haven't felt a ghost and the kids haven't said anything.
Mm. It sometimes depends on the land. It can depend on the land. So when you said, you built the house, it doesn't necessarily, one of the things that we investigated before all the craziness happened was the Conjuring House. And we had been there because it's actually in Rhode Island. So it's only 20 minutes from my house. And Michelle and I had investigated, I think 4 times, right, Michelle? About 4 times?
I think 3 times. 3.
Or 3 times, but we had been there for other things too. And we found that it's not the house that's haunted, it's the land. There was King Philip's War had taken place, which was a very evil war. Lots of death had actually happened on that land, and it kind of scarred it. But also going back to, and this, I don't know if you know too much about elementals, but there's elementals on that land that have been here since the dawn of time. And they ended up building a house on land that was already kind of traumatized. So all of the stuff that was happening, we really kind of think it was the elementals, and they built the house afterwards.
Tell me about elementals.
Go ahead, Michelle.
So elementals are very ancient beings, connected to the land. The way we feel is they've been here before any of us were here. They're not good, they're not bad, they're kind of neutral, but if you make them angry by disrespecting the land or whatnot, they can do a lot of maybe more negative things to us. But we just came across some in Ireland, which that was insane. I know it sounds weird, but the places that we've really felt strong energy, it's always ended up being coming from outside. And that particular place, we were outside one night. It's like our funny story, but not really. There was a bush in the backyard of the Conjuring House. It was almost 3 a.m. We're all out there doing like an EVP pendulum session. And every time we turn around, the bush is closer. No joke. everybody's starting to freak out because every time we look, it looks closer. And this bush is way down at the end of the backyard. Finally, everybody's like, we got to go in. Something's going on. They're freaking out. It's getting really windy out. So we run into the Conjuring House, which nobody does ever, to be safe. And I could see swirling black figures, just things flying around the house. And then everything started to go crazy in the house. Remember, like the
Yep.
lights, all of our equipment was going off
All of
all
our
at the same
equipment went
time.
off at once. It was crazy.
And then I actually, and no one else saw it, unfortunately, but we were all at this long table and I had this weird energy shift in front of me. And it was like very glittery and glowing to me. I could see things sparkling and no one else could see it. And I finally said that they needed to close it because it honestly felt like a portal. And I wasn't about to even, like touch that. But we went out the next day and took pictures, and the bush has a spine as like a root in the ground, and it looks like it has a face. No joke. We'll send you
Have
the
you got a photo
pictures.
of that? Yes.
But everybody felt it. And we kind of determined that that's the strong energy there, and people die there. Tragedy happened with the war, and all of that is kind of like embedded in the land at this point. So with all the craziness going on and the disrespect, I don't think that's been making them happy. So
No. And Michelle, are you the medium or the
Yeah.
sentient?
I hate to say that,
You're
but
the-
yes, I am.
You're the medium. So maybe
Yeah.
that's why you saw the glittery.
Yeah, probably. It's the same
Yeah.
room that they have reported a time shift, a time slip, where they actually saw what was it, the Arnold family? It was a
Yes.
family from way back in the day. I think it was the Arnold. They saw them at the table, and the people, one of the or two of the people saw them, and they said something like, "Do you see them?" And then it went back to normal, and it was in the same room. So we're pretty sure that there's a
Wow.
portal, because I think the well is right under there as well. So
Yes. The well as well.
yeah.
I
well
am
as
coming
well.
to Rhode Island. I'm coming. Can you girls
can
take me
come.
there?
Yes. As soon
I
as
was
we
looking-
can go back there. Yes. Right now it's, there's stuff going on, and the house is going up for auction soon.
Oh, they're selling it. So it doesn't belong to the city. I would have thought that the city would have purchased it.
No, they didn't.
And
Yeah.
we think the elemental started to mess with her because she really started to build on the land where you weren't supposed to. You weren't supposed to go back in the woods. She was putting things out there. I think the elementals, and she was living in a trailer on the land, and I think they started to not get happy with her. Yeah. It was a
Let's
little
start
tough.
a movement and we all purchase the home.
So
Oh, actually,
Everyone
there is
puts
a
in
movement.
for it.
there is a movement.
There already is.
Yes.
I want in. I want in on that purchase.
Jason Hawes from Ghost Hunters started the movement.
Okay.
We know him, obviously. We live here, so but you can check it out. We've all been donating, so we're trying to purchase it as like a whole. Yeah, just because we
Absolutely.
don't know who's going to end up with it. And I mean, it is a very interesting property for people to visit, as well as the historical value of the place as well,
Yeah.
and the land. So, we would hate to see
Absolutely.
it go to something or someone not well, like what ended up happening this time. So
Yeah. I'd love to hear about both of your gifts. Michelle, tell me about being a medium. How did you find that? Was it when you were a little girl?
I didn't really understand it. No, I've always been one of those weird kids that used to take my bike and I'd be out in the woods all day long by myself and coming home with earthworms in my pockets. And I've always been that kind of nature girl. And then when we moved into that house, that's kind of when I realized like we were kind of sensitive to things. But also messed with the Ouija board like an idiot when I was a teenager. And
Same.
yeah, I won't anymore because we contacted something that I will never mention their name. But it's definitely at least a very evil spirit, and we're not big into everything's a demon at all. But this was just something that I've had to avoid. So I tend not to get into like nasty situations like that because we've come across it before and we've had to shut things down.
So would it be safe to say listeners don't get involved with Ouija boards?
Not if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know,
I would agree. I would agree.
I mean,
Yeah.
the thing itself is a game. It's harmless on its own, but people don't realize how much power they have.
Mhm.
You know, and I
And my
certainly didn't understand this back
we
then.
used to do it at lunchtime at school even, but I
Yeah.
will say, I never allowed it to be in my house. It was always at somebody else's house.
Actually, ours we didn't do it in my house either, thankfully. It was at somebody
Yeah.
else's house.
Yeah.
But just as I've gone through life, I'm an empath, which I didn't really understand that either for a long time. So I soak up energy from everybody and everything.
Yeah.
And because of that, I can kind of read people like emotions. I kind of I don't know, I just get messages sometimes. I hear spirits. We see them, we can smell them. I've got a lot of those gifts. It's just I'm still trying to figure them out now that I really understand what's going on because it's gotten
Yeah.
stronger. Same with my sister. She's gotten a lot stronger as of late. So,
Wow.
much to her chagrin, but
Are you talking about Kimberly?
yeah.
Yes. All right, Kimberly, tell me about yours. Am I right in saying sentient? Is that right? Or sensitive?
So basically a sensitive, but in that I can hear them. So I know it sounds weird and you kind of sound crazy when you say I can hear them talking to me, but it's in my head, but it sometimes is in a different voice. Um, I do definitely hear them. I've seen them. They've touched me. Now, just recently in Ireland, I had an incident happen with me just literally feeling their emotions and feeling what they went through and breaking down and uncontrollably crying in a place that was from the Vikings, and I couldn't stop it. That happens to Michelle at times because she's more of the empath where she feels their emotions. This was the very first time I've ever had that happen. Um, they've become more apparent to me. I feel them when I walk into a room. I kind of just, especially at home too, because I do have one or two that hang out there, and now I just tell them, not tonight. I'm going to bed. Stop talking to me. I'll talk to you tomorrow. They just sometimes they like to bombard if they want to be heard. So it can make it a little difficult.
What it sounds very similar. Both of your gifts sound very similar. What would the difference be? Your
Their
audience.
audience.
Yeah.
That's more so I can definitely hear them speaking. I mean, I've had it even happen where I was laying in bed just trying to fall asleep and I got, hey, right in my ear. And I looked over and I was like, what? There's nobody there. Heard it loud and clear, you know. So definitely I've got that. But like Michelle said, I think we both have quite a bit of talents, but we're trying to figure it out now that we've been doing so many investigations and going over to Ireland to open us up even more because we
Yeah.
investigated Lep Castle on Halloween night. We did another castle the night before where we got interaction with my equipment answering me like an actual intelligent spirit, actually answering my questions directly. So I feel like it's been picking up every time that we do another investigation.
I want to be your third sister. I want to do all of this with you.
Come on over.
I'm coming. Tell me about your equipment. All I know with the equipment is like from the movies of The Conjuring and then also like Ghostbusters. So, what kind of equipment do you have? Obviously, you've got cameras, obviously, you've got microphones. Do you have those? Is it the balls that you put and then if they roll
Yes.
around?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
The
What else
cat balls
what have
we
you got?
call them.
Yeah.
Yep, they're cat balls.
And
I've got like a spirit box which plays frequencies. So like you can do it on FM radio or AM radio where you can do different tests with it. Somebody has like they call it the Estes method where you cover your eyes and you put on the headphones and then somebody else will be asking questions, but the person with the headphones can't hear and they'll just be yelling out what they can hear that comes through the spirit box. So it's kind of a way of them communicating with it's kind of strange because it can be like FM. Usually we put it on AM too, because then there's not as much noise, I guess. Um,
static.
yeah,
And do the questions land? Do the
we've
answers
had them.
land?
Yes, we've had them
Yeah.
actually answering. I think last time when we were in Wales, we did this, and I was actually the one that was in another room with the headphones, and they were asking questions that there's no way I should have even heard anything or even get any noise on the radio because what they had it set to was US radio in Wales. So there was nothing that should have been coming through. And I was hearing screaming, I was hearing voices, I was hearing things coming through, and I was telling them, and a lot of the answers I actually came out with were something that they were asking me from the other room.
Mhm.
Um,
That's
we've
scary.
we've
That is a
got
scary job.
I love it. We love it.
Like the
But
screaming. No, the screaming, because
healing
you
does
know that's
kind of
terror.
yeah, it was a
Yeah.
woman's voice too, and I felt for her because she was screaming about something. And it
Mm.
sounded like fear, when she was doing that.
Wow.
We've had instances with my REM pod. My REM pod's actually, it looks like a small Ouija board, so it's in a triangle, and it has an eye that lights up, so it's not your normal REM pod. They love to interact with it. I've had really good results with it. I've had really nothing with it. So it just depends on the place we're investigating. Gosh, Michelle, I've got a lot of stuff, right?
And also probably it depends
Yeah,
on what that particular entity is, what
correct.
their abilities are, what they can actually control and do. So whether they're more evolved and can interact with that.
Yes, like there is residual spirits versus intelligent spirits. Residual is like the way I like to explain it is so, Belle, you get up every morning, you go and make a coffee, you go and do the same routine every single morning. You go and feed the dogs, and then you take them out every day, same routine over and over. Sometimes, like I almost say, like it's a slime trail of our energy. So when we pass away, there might still be a Belinda that actually goes and makes coffee. Somebody might see you. But as far as interaction happens, it's not going to happen because you're not an intelligent spirit. It's just your energy trail that you've left behind from doing the same thing over and over. Versus intelligent spirits,
Wow.
they actually do interact and they will touch you. They will, talk to us. They answer questions like the one did at the castle that we were investigating, actually answering my questions with intelligent answers.
So how does reincarnation come into this with when you've got the residual spirit that remains or that haunts or that communicates? Do you believe in reincarnation? How does that work?
We do.
So we do. My belief is more the way the Egyptians believed, where they said we had they call it a ba and a ka. I always get them confused, but one of them is the spirit that moves on to the next realm. The other part of you stays here until it dissipates. So I feel like residual is more like that you just leave this imprint that just continues until it fades out at some point, which could be why we're not seeing cavemen walking around, or, like we only see spirits usually from so far back, which I find
Right.
odd.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a reason for that.
That's a very good point. Very good point. We don't see the cavemen, but we do see the women in the white, and we do see people in a soldier's uniform, things like
Mhm.
this.
Right. Or indigenous. I mean, I've seen them before. Yeah.
Yep. So Michelle and I do have Blackfoot Indian tribe in us. And I do think that that also kind of plays into the reason that we see and feel the things we do because our meme was very much in tune with the Indian side of us and the Indian side of her. Um, where we've been to certain places where the elementals, they respect the Indians because the Indians here have always been in love with the land and used the land to the benefit. They didn't think it should be owned. It wasn't something to ever be owned. It was something just to be used, right? For whatever purposes. So I think that they actually do notice that in us. And that's why we've had great interactions with some places that have other issues when it comes to Indians being seen on the property, but they know it's us. And it's like, oh, they're just ancestors. So they're good to go kind of
Yeah.
thing. So it's interesting.
Let them pass. Let
Right.
them
They're
pass.
good.
Well, that's the same here as well. Like our indigenous are incredibly connected to land, incredibly connected. So very similar. Pretty much Scottish over here. Pretty much Scottish and a little bit
Well,
Irish and a little bit
that's still
English.
something, trust me. 'Cause
Yeah.
we have like Druid Celt roots, so I'm sure you must too. If
Yeah.
any of your ancestors are from that area.
I don't know if it was a dream or if it was in my reality. But when you were just talking about 5 minutes ago, I felt like saying, I can't pick. I think Kimberly was speaking. And then something came to me. It was a whispered thing, and it was either a dream or it was yesterday or last night. And it said quite loudly in my ear, 1 month, 1 month.
Okay.
So let's let's connect in 30 days and see what
Okay.
happens.
Maybe we're gonna win the lottery.
We like to think positively.
Me too. So, can you walk us through what a typical investigation would look like? Are you contacted by somebody? Maybe things are moving, or my kids are scared, or I'm scared. Is that typically how you will look at a property or land? Or do you do the research and then see if you can fact check?
We've been approached by both. So we did do an investigation for somebody who was really struggling with some items in the house, constant movements. She kind of thought she had almost like a poltergeist, but she also had a collection where we do think items can be haunted as well because they're used a lot. So that type of thing. She had a lot of different items from different collections and different time periods. And when we went there to help her out, we did see, actually, Michelle, you saw a full apparition
Yes, I did.
at
Do
her
you want me to?
place. Yeah.
Okay, so we were giving her the information, and I happened to see something, and I turned, and there was a full-bodied man, flannel, jeans, boots, hair, and he was walking across her bedroom and walked into a wall, which I found out later used to be a stairwell. They closed it off. We did the research and found out it was the guy that used to own the place that died there. We found his picture. It took a little bit. And we also did see a woman in the kitchen doing the same thing over and over and over again. So we kind of figured that one was residual. But yeah, we actually did see a couple of things there.
And
But
downstairs.
Do you release them?
No.
Yeah, do you release the energy?
No, we don't do that because I don't know where we'd be sending them to. I really think that it's our journey when we die, and I don't think we should interfere. I mean, when we were in Ireland and the girl was really scared, and I had a boy or like a young man that was standing next to me talking to me, all I pretty much said was, there is a way, but it's your journey, but don't feel threatened. You will be okay, but you have to go through this. We just don't know where we're sending them, and if they're not ready, it's going to confuse them. Like we just try to respect them like we would a human, like a living being,
I have never heard that before. Where are they being sent to? I think that's a very valid belief that you two have got. How did you come up with that? Is that just something that you have never wanted to touch, like releasing the spirits? You're just like, no, we don't know enough about this.
We've experienced. I mean, sometimes Kim's got great photos and they're time slips. They're from another time. Wait till you see her pictures. She always seems to get the mirror photos. It's really strange. They like to communicate with her that way. So just because we've seen so many different things.
Yeah. And do mum and dad believe now?
That is a loaded question. Our mom, I think.
But they've got to see the photos. They've got to see the photos.
I think our mom does. Our dad is he's very much into his religion, which is great because, he's happy and it all works for him. But he has a hard time with this stuff because he always thinks that we're messing with things that we shouldn't mess with. And that we're, for a while, worshiping the devil and, messing with things that we can open up like doors of demons. And we don't do that kind of stuff. Like, we're very respectful with that. We don't want to mess with that.
And is it mum or dad who has the Indigenous heritage?
My dad.
Who is it? It's
my dad. He's got a gift. He just, he doesn't like to admit it. He just says God's telling him stuff because our dad always knows things he shouldn't know. But that's what he thinks, so that's okay.
So
but it's his fault.
I've learned that God is just a term for a higher being.
Yeah.
So
correct.
he just uses the word God, but it could be anything.
Yeah, he's very strict,
His
black and white
ancestors.
when it comes to the Bible. Like everything in the Bible happened as it says it happened. That's the way my dad likes to believe, and our dad. And the funny thing is that, so what Michelle's saying is, back when we were younger, he would go into the closet. I know it sounds weird, and talk to God because he said that was the only place that he could get true quiet. So he would be in there and he would come out with information about us, about things that there was no way he should have known. So now, as we've been doing the investigations, and we'll get together for Christmas or Thanksgiving, and we're like, Dad, I think it was the spirits back then telling you in the closet.
It was. Yeah.
because
I was
we
about to
have these
say that
talents.
that closet wasn't God. That
No,
there was someone else
there were
speaking to him. It was
definitely people talking to him
the
because I
word
think
God.
Yeah.
right. Yeah. And I think that
Yeah,
that's why we have the talents we do, because I do think it's also a genetic thing. I do.
I do too. Um, yeah, and I like what you said earlier. If people are religious, if it works for them, fantastic. Whatever works for you is key, right? So you've
Absolutely.
definitely got that from your dad. I love it. I love that dad does that. I used to try and connect. I remember I was a weird little kid. My father died when I was 7, and I desperately wanted to connect with him. And I went to a Catholic primary school, and I'd go into church every morning before school, and I'd steal some rosary beads. They had like this little bowl of plastic colorful rosary beads, and I'd steal them. And then I would go and hide in this little black room under the tuck shop and like hold them in my hands and try and make them move. They didn't move.
You did. That's a funny thing. It's like, spirits are not going to talk when we want them to. We were at
Yeah.
Lep Castle for Halloween. We thought that would be a very, very active place. And in all honesty, it wasn't. But they're not on demand. We can't say, "Hey, we want you to talk today." But the funny thing is that we're with
Maybe they're like you are. Maybe they're like you are when you say, "Not tonight, I'm tired." Maybe they're like, "Girls, no, not today.
Yeah.
I've had a
I
big day of residual."
I do think that. I think sometimes a place can get over like investigated. If it just gets
Yeah.
too much, like just anybody in general, because we do think of them as people. So they were here, right, at some point. And so we'll talk to them just like that. Or we've had the best results come about when Michelle and I sit with a recorder and we're just talking amongst ourselves about our day. They love to
And they join
interject.
in.
We like to have fun. We'll laugh. We'll have a silly time. And that's when we capture the most captures of them talking. It's not the interrogation.
Yes.
It's not walking in there going, "Do you know you're dead? Do you know?" Like we don't
Yeah.
do that. We'll go in and just
Hello, are you
have fun.
there? Yeah.
Yes. We have
And they're
fun.
probably recognizing you that you already know they're there. So there's zero pressure. They're just enjoying you. Really. They're just enjoying you
Just like any
and joining in.
person would be attracted to good energy, we try to bring in
Yeah.
good energy and we'll just have fun. And then they usually are attracted instead of us coming in as, we need this and this from you. So,
Demanding them to show
God, I love what
themselves.
you do. This podcast is supported by our friends at ActiveFlex, the Australian pain relieving gel designed for long-lasting relief for painful muscles and joints. Always read the label and follow the directions for use. If your symptoms persist, please seek advice from a healthcare professional. You can shop online at Chemist Warehouse or simply search ActiveFlex Gel.
We've seen things that definitely can't be explained, but we know 75%, 80%, whatever it is going to be explainable. That's
Yeah.
okay with us.
So that's normal. That's normal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's normal.
yeah. And if we can debunk, we'll debunk.
Yeah. Do you watch the scary movies?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
We
yeah.
love
And then
scary
call
movies.
it out going, that's not true. That's not how you do
Yes.
that.
Like, it's
Yes.
never that crazy.
No. I think it was the last Conjuring that I saw. That was really insane.
I didn't see the new one yet, but
Didn't see the new one
I
either.
think it was that. Don't quote me, but I feel like there was like a diamondy entity that you're talking about when you said earlier,
Oh,
a glittery entity. I feel like that was in it. I'll go back and have a look. And if it was, I'll flick you that scene.
okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
We
I'm
haven't.
pretty sure
I
it was.
know I haven't seen the new
It
one.
must be in the
I've
new
seen
one
others.
because I don't remember that.
And
But
it was also the scene at the dinner table too. And whether it was a time slip or not, I'm going to go and rewatch it today.
Really?
Flick through and see if I can see those scenes. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
About 6 months ago I watched. Can I please show you a painting that I
Sure.
purchased recently? So, my house is pretty much op shops. Do you know what an op shop is?
Can't say I do.
Like eclectic?
You might call it thrift shopping or
Eclectic. Okay.
collectible. Yeah, so we
It's like
call
my
them
house.
Yeah. So everything in my home is pretty much since I was 16 has been op shopped, like everything. If you can, like my whole house, you know.
Okay.
And so the other month I went to one of my favorite op shops and there was this painting. And it's freaky, but I couldn't leave it alone because if you look at the colors of my couch and my things, I love this pinky purple. I'm going to show you the painting and I just want you, because everybody who comes into my house gets a freaky feeling from it. I'm just moving the camera away so I can lift it up. Tell me what you think. Firstly, I think it's beautiful.
It's a little blurry. I get something attached to it. Michelle?
Yeah. It doesn't feel like just a painting. It doesn't. There's more to this painting.
Yeah.
It's
okay. It's a little girl and she's sitting in a chair. Okay, I see it now.
Yeah.
So I'll send you a photo of it.
Oh,
Actually, let
there
me
you
take
are,
a photo. Can you both, have you got access to your phones?
Yes. Is it going to the Soul Sister one, Kim?
Yeah, I'm going to send it to your soul sister right now.
Michelle, as soon as I get it.
Yep.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
To receive. There it is. So I've just sent the painting, the oil painting that I purchased from a thrift shop to the girls to have a look at. Oh, did you receive that?
Oh, I just got it. Yep. Let me send it over to Michelle so you'll see it too. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. I am feeling that there is definitely an energy attached to this.
But not negative, right?
No.
Because I don't feel negative.
Not negative. She kind of looks a little bit looks like me as a kid, Michelle.
I know. A little bit. Huh.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing by any means.
No, it's like it's not the girl in the picture. It's the person that wanted this. Somebody loved this painting. I just don't know. It's not a little girl though. But it's definitely more than a painting. It doesn't feel bad though. It's more like a love type of thing. Yeah. That's what it feels like.
So I have a little bit of background on that as well.
Okay.
The artist, I don't have my glasses, so let me just take a photo of his name. Hang on. Okay, it's Robert Liddycote. He was an Australian artist and his children have a website I've found, and the website is calling out for people to put his art, send it to them, like the pictures, because they don't have his collections. And I think this one might be one of his children. So his name is Robert Liddycote.
Okay.
And that would make sense because I'm getting like a strong feeling of it. But I think if he painted it of his child, which was kind of what I was actually feeling like, that's why there's so much attachment and love that is going with this painting.
He passed away 10 years ago. Yeah. And so they're the kid's website and they're calling out for his artwork.
Okay.
Robert Liddycote. Yeah. So that painting, when my children see it, they're like, can you get rid of it? I said, no, I love it.
There's nothing bad attached to it, though. There is a small attachment
about it.
So you might have some weird things happen in your home, but
you'll have to let us know if you do. But,
oh, well, it does shift. It absolutely shifts. Okay. So every couple of days I straighten it up because it'll be like this every couple of days. But that's all.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried about it. So
no. No, she's pretty.
She is
a pretty little girl. What is next for you, girls? So you've just been to Ireland. What's next for you? Have you got anything on the cards coming up?
Next weekend, right, Kim?
Yeah.
Next weekend.
Next weekend.
Going to Burnbrae. Is it called Burnbrae Mansion?
Yeah.
In New York. Never been. We've never been to this location. I don't tend to like to do research. I like to go and do a walkthrough and kind of get the feel. So I haven't looked up really much of anything besides what our friends have kind of said, but I don't really know the history.
So is it a grand manor? What is it?
I haven't even looked at pictures of it yet.
So yeah, we haven't looked at anything.
we really don't like to taint our investigations. So we don't like to look up any research or, any stories about what people have seen, what people have experienced, because we rather go in there blind and then look up the stuff afterwards to see if any of it could be validated.
So what time do you want me there?
I think we start at 6 p.m.
What's going on? I'm coming. So
more than
girls,
welcome.
I'm going to join you on the thought process. Instead of moving spirits or entities along, just accepting that they're here. What would you say to listeners who are experiencing? Because a lot of people that I know have had issues in the home where the children are scared. What would you say to those people? And how do they integrate that spirit into their lives or the children's lives? Would you just say, you wouldn't say ignore it, would you?
No, I would say believe your kids,
Yeah.
because whether it's their imagination or not, they're seeing it and they're experiencing it.
And hearing it.
As a grown up, I wish our parents had not constantly told us we were not seeing that, or we were seeking attention, or we were being silly. Because I feel like that hurts kids. They're supposed to trust their parents. So I feel like they should work through it with them. Obviously, if there's scary stuff going on in the house, they should probably find somebody that could maybe help. But I mean, we found even aggressive spirits, it's not always that they want to hurt you. I mean, not that we've actually been hurt, but I don't think they want to hurt all the time. They're just angry and they're lashing
frustrated.
out. It's the only way they can communicate to get help or to understand what's happening. So it might just be scary to a kid because they're a kid, and seeing somebody walk in your room in the middle of the night that's not your parents would scare me for sure.
Oh, yes.
You know?
Absolutely. Okay, good. Girls, you've seen a ghost. Have you seen a UFO?
Yeah.
We have.
We have.
Don't tell. Do tell.
So
You wanna go
mine
first.
Yeah, so mine actually happened, and it's weird because Michelle was at my house and I was on Block Island. Block Island is a small island off of Rhode Island. Basically, you take the ferry over. My husband and I were there for July 4th. So we were staying at a friend's house that's right on top of the hill, and we were overlooking. So it was a nice view of the fireworks. I was sitting there looking, and I'm looking up and I see this red thing, and it's just like hovering like above me and not moving, right? So fireworks are kind of going off over here. There's this weird thing that I can see, and it's just not moving. Then all of a sudden I see it do this weird movement, and then it goes whoop, gone. So I'm like, did I just see a UFO? Like, that was the weirdest thing. And I cannot find this video, which is really strange because I did take a video, and I swear they went into my phone and they deleted it. I cannot find this video. It does not exist anymore, and I had it. So same time.
I've got a similar experience to that, but can we confirm it was not a drone?
Okay,
It was not a drone.
Here's the issue. I'm in Rhode Island in Cumberland, which is pretty far away from Block Island. I'm on her deck watching fireworks in probably that same direction. I'm with my boyfriend. I look up, I go, what the hell is that orange red light? And I'm thinking it's a big firework that's going to be coming down, except it's hovering and fireworks are going off and the thing's sitting there. And then it starts to move and then it's gone. I took photos. They're gone. I can't find them or the video she sent me because we both talked to each other that night and went, holy shit, we saw the same thing from miles and miles and miles away.
Yes.
At the same time.
Oh,
and
my
all
God.
Our evidence is gone. It's gone.
I sent her the video. She went, Kim, let me send you the pictures. We both verified that we basically saw exactly the same thing, but I can tell you, I've looked everywhere in my phone and it's gone. And she can't find the pictures.
That is unreal.
And I think they have that ability to be like, well, we don't want you to have the proof, so I'm going into your phone to delete that.
And that's what I always wondered. Okay, so many people have seen them. So many people have had this experience. Why are there not TikToks? Why are there not photos? Why are there not videos? Because of what you're saying. That's why. That is why.
Yeah, so that was one. I saw a kind of crazy one. I go camping every year way up in New Hampshire, which is very wooded. We're almost into Canada where I go, so there's nothing up that far. And my boyfriend and I will sit there at night and we'll see the strangest stuff going by in the sky, things that don't maneuver that way normally. But we were at a friend's house there last year and we're sitting out by the fire and this craft flew over us. And I thought it was the ISS because it was really bright. the station.
Satellite? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it stops. And we're like, okay, well, that can't be the ISS. It doesn't stop. It's in orbit around the planet. It stops, and this white ball of something drops out of it, zigs over there, does these weird things, and then situates itself next to what looked like a star and just sat there over us. And then the craft continued on and left. And the
It
three
dropped
of us
its passenger off.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so the three of us are sitting there looking up, going, are we going to be abducted? What is going on? There's no drone lights. There's no noise at all. There was nothing. We wouldn't even have known it was there except we saw this happen because it literally looked like a star until I looked at it and went, okay, can you leave us alone? I don't want to be up there. We're going to go in the house. And the thing literally zigzagged and disappeared.
And so was it super far away or was it quite close?
It was far enough away where I would have mistaken it as a star, but it
Right.
was really bright, almost like a planet bright. So it was definitely closer than we could tell. But yeah, we all saw it. Didn't take a picture of it because the phones were in the house and we were just like, I don't know what to do. Somebody's spying us.
Okay, so thoughts on why they're here. Thoughts on that. Were they always here, do you think? If you were just gonna
Think
I
so.
stab in the dark.
Yeah, we think so.
I think they've.
So are we a game?
So I think
I
that
don't
honestly, they were here since the Egyptians. You know, the Egyptians' hieroglyphs show that. I think there's been pictures from with Mary Magdalene in it, and there's like a spaceship that's in the painting, like way off in the distance. I think they've always been around, but they're not here to harm. I think that they've actually given us more information to make us a little bit better. And I mean, Michelle and I, so we do study like ufology as well. That's one of our tracks that we've studied. And there's so many different types of aliens that just like there's so many types of human beings that there's like almost different races. Some are not helpful. And I think those are the grays. Those are just not the helpful type. Then there's other ones that are like almost like Michelle, you remember better than I do that certain names. Sorry to put you on the spot
there's
there.
no. Pleiadians, which are from the Pleiades system, I guess, and then there's Lyrans. There's so many different that, supposedly, like, we haven't seen these, but supposedly there's reptilians that were here before us, and then there's other ones from other planets. There's a ton of them. I don't know where everyone gets their information, but it's really hard to say. But I really don't. I feel like if they were going to hurt us, we would be gone already. I mean,
Yeah.
if they have that much ability and technology, they could have just, if they wanted.
Well, look how
So-
fast technology has pushed forward over the last
Oh,
100
yeah.
years. Maybe someone's sliding, Musk some information.
Oh, we think he's an alien. Belle, he's an alien.
Yeah, I've read that too. I've read
He's
that
one
as
of
well.
them.
Well, doesn't he want to create so many children that he takes over?
Maybe. I know he's got a lot of
Maybe.
kids, I think. But yeah, we do this because
Yeah.
we have so many questions and we end up with more questions. But
Mm.
I really think they've been interacting with us since the beginning of time. Like she was saying, I mean, there's petroglyphs that have aliens and spaceships in them from thousands and thousands of years, like 10,000 years ago. It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. Like, why was everybody always thinking of the same thing?
Yeah, and then you've got films like The Fifth Element, and that goes back in time, right?
Mhm.
You seen The Fifth Element with Bruce
Yes,
Willis?
I love that movie.
Yeah, love that movie. Love that movie. And then you've got obviously Men in Black. Like, are these little hints just to get us used to what could be the future?
Yeah.
And then you think dinosaurs, were they just bored and went, gone? Too boring now. We want humans.
Could be. I mean, they were killed by a big asteroid, technically, right? Yeah. I mean, it's so funny. There, like Michelle said, that's why we still do what we do and why we love it and that's why we're Soul Sisters Supernatural. We're not Soul Sisters Paranormal. Like we do investigations into the ufology. We've been studying that. We like cryptids. We like it all. So we're not just strictly going for spirit. I mean, that's where we actually do a lot of our paranormal investigations. but Michelle goes hiking a lot. You know, we actually witnessed a fairy when we were on a hike one time. We have to say it was a fairy because it just didn't make sense. It wasn't a bug. Yes.
The footage is missing.
Tell me about the fairy.
We were heading to what is a haunted site, not too far from us, and it's in the woods. It used to be an old mill, and we got so far, but the path is now broken and there's a river going through, so you can't get across, and some of it's private land and you could get shot. So we found out probably not the best idea. So we kind of hung out by the water for a bit, and when we went to turn around, there was this little light, and it was like this greenish blue, right? Like something
Yeah.
like that color. And it was darting around, and we're like, is it a beetle? You know, like an iridescent beetle or whatever. And we go, and it was
Firefly?
yeah, but it wasn't. And it's the middle of the day.
Yeah.
It was just this tiny little, we could barely see it. And it was like doing this. And we took a video of it that I cannot find. And then it just poofed, and it was just gone, absolutely gone. And I've seen one when I was camping by the fire. I think it was last year. Same type of thing. I got up, looked at it, it was darting around, and then it just disappeared.
Definitely
So we've
wasn't a
seen
fly.
couple things.
I can tell you that.
No.
Oh no. And then someone said the other day, I said the word leprechaun, and then my husband said, "Oh, that term's gone now. You can't say that term." I said, "What do you mean?" He said
Really?
it's part of the you can't say list.
Oh,
Offensive.
I have not heard that.
So
I didn't
leprechauns.
hear anybody
You went to-
saying leprechaun over in Ireland, but I mean, that's
No,
kind of
We
the
saw
thing.
pictures and things of it, but nobody really said anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, But we also have puckwudgies. I love that. Yeah. So where we lived, the Wampanoag Indians used to live, and they had a legend of the puckwudgies, which are kind of a type of elemental, Kim, I believe.
Yeah.
They're little trickster guys. They're small. They like to mess with people more so. You could look up the actual legend of it. I can't remember exactly how it played
They
out.
almost look like a troll.
Can you
type
spell
of
it for me?
thing.
Oh,
Like a
can you spell it?
gnome or a...
Or no.
Yeah, they kind of look like a gnome-ish.
What's it? Can you spell it for me?
It's PUCKWUDGIES.
Puckwudgies.
Puckwudgie is a human-like creature from Wampanoag. How do you pronounce that?
Wampanoag.
Wampanoag
Yep.
folklore, often described as mischievous.
Yes, they are very
Mischievous or malicious, standing 2 to 3 feet tall. These goblin-like beings are said to have human-like features with a large nose, ears, and fingers, and may have smooth grey skin or a covering of porcupine-like quills. Puckwudgies possess magical abilities like invisibility, teleportation, and shape-shifting. And this is what they look like.
Yep. Yeah, so like a little troll almost.
Yeah, kind of. We see them more as like shadowy. But I
They
have
peek
stuff
out.
that disappears like right next to me. Now, so is she, but yeah, I've had things disappear, reappear. They
Yeah.
like to mess around.
They like to play little jokes.
How can I open my senses to feel and see what you see?
I mean, I meditated and kind of looked up how to open your third eye probably when I was 18. I was pretty young. I still do that now with meditation, that kind of stuff. But you can look it up. I just it's different for everybody, but I think
Yeah.
everybody's got the ability. I just think some people are very close-minded.
When I try and meditate or when I try and manifest, I feel like there's this little voice going against what I'm trying to say. Like, you don't even believe what you're saying, Belle.
That might be you. So that might
That's
be
from you.
that's coming from you.
But
So
I
you
want
have be
to.
like, stop it, Belle.
Push it away. Push it away.
Yes. I mean, like we said, it feels strange to say, okay, well, I'm hearing a ghost talk to me in my head. And people are like, oh, well, there she goes. She needs to be in a straitjacket in a little white padded room. She's hearing voices.
1 month.
1 month. I'm kind of concerned right now.
I am a little bit.
Oh boy.
I know. It only came to me when you said before about the whisper.
Oh boy.
Isn't that about... Oh, I don't even want to say it. I don't want to say it. it's the day after your birthday is supposed to be when that Atlas thing, I think, is either visible again or on its way out.
So maybe in 1
it's
month,
a little
they're
over
coming?
a month.
So technically, in 1 month, it's my best friend's birthday. Should we just go with that?
We're going to go
Sure.
with that.
We're just going to go with that.
It's a reminder for you.
And it's my birthday in a month and 2 days.
Mine's
Oh.
the 18th.
Right before Cam.
Oh, I'm the 15th.
Look at that. See? So you're a
Yeah, and
Sagittarius.
she's the 12th. Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
and so
twin
she.
powers
She's,
unite.
yes, absolutely. And what are you, Michelle? You're an Aries.
She
So what is that, like June?
March 28th is my birthday.
March.
Mhm.
Lovely. Well, you girls, thank you so much for sitting with me today. I have just been looking forward to this in the calendar for more than 1 month. and here we are. And I really have learned some things from you, because I've had psychics on this show twice now. And I've had a shaman. And a lot of what you're saying is very recognizable to what they experience and what they feel and see and know. But you've got a different take on it. And I really like that take. I think it's really healthy in this space, you know? And then coming from a place of wanting to know, and please don't give up, because I want to know. I want to know. But the little thing here says, no, you don't. No, you don't.
We
So
definitely
I'm going
want
to try and open my third eye, and I'll be there in a week or 1
Okay.
month.
Okay.
We have
Maybe
another.
that's-
Actually, we have another one in a month, I think.
It is a month.
Ooh.
We're going to S.K.
S-
Pierce Mansion,
Yes.
which I think is supposed to have a portal. So
Oh, why don't you come to Australia and I'll meet you here, or
Okay.
halfway?
okay.
Come to Australia.
Trust me.
I'll
that's,
come on tour
that's a
with
place we
you.
want to go.
I can do the. Oh, you
Yeah.
will find a lot of history. First, I'll start with the house we built. But I will say, I could do the research for you of where to go.
Okay.
That'd be amazing.
And have you heard of Min Min lights?
No.
So we have a phenomenon here in our country called Min Min lights. So my mum has seen them. If you look on the internet, it's generally between Western Australia, where you used to live, Kimberly, and South Australia on the highway that goes between the two. But I'm pretty sure my mum saw them on the tip of Australia, the Northern Territory. And it's when you are at night or day and you're on a long track of highway, it's an entity or an element that plays with you. So it's lights. So you might think there's a motorcycle behind you or a car behind you, and then they're gone. Or then they race past you at a ridiculous speed that's not normal, and then
Right.
they're in front of you, and then they stop.
Mhm.
They dance and they play with you around your vehicle,
Oh.
and they're called Min Min lights. MIN, MIN.
I've seen this before, but I didn't know that's what they're called. I've seen things about it. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
So there's
Oh, that's-
many sightings of Min Mins, but
Wow.
generally it's on quiet, deserted roads when there's a singular vehicle.
mm-hmm. Interesting.
Mm. But yeah, there's many old, ancient places in Australia, as you know.
Yep.
Ayers Rock is, you know, in the centre of the country.
Yes.
Oh, it's actually not called Ayers Rock now, Uluru. And we're going plus 65,000 years for the Indigenous humans on our country, 65,000 years.
Wow.
And growing, like they're finding older artifacts constantly.
Wow.
Mm.
That's amazing.
Mm.
Well, we have to get over there. So we're more
Yes,
interested
please.
in coming
Yes,
to
please.
see you, Belle. So
Yes. Yes. Oh
we
gosh,
love that.
I love the two of you. Your energy is beautiful. Are you getting, so the medium in you, Michelle, are you getting anything from me?
I just really like you. Like you are such a good soul. You're very infectious. Like I definitely want to come see you at some point.
Yes. You literally are like a shining light, like a happy shining light.
I actually call it, like, after I finish with a guest, I just belled them. They got belled. Poor things.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I like
And
it.
I love it when they're a really shy, quiet guest.
Wait, whose
And
bell
then
just went off?
that
Who just
my
dinged?
bell went off then.
What? That was good
That was
timing.
me. And it says, whoever TLC are, well, I like the band, but it's not them, Black Friday, stock running low, whoever that is.
So that's funny because
Never
you
heard
just said we got belled and then there was the bell.
And it dinged.
Ding!
See?
Maybe I need to purchase from whatever that spam was.
Maybe.
And then it will come
TLC.
in a month.
A month.
Yes! There we go. It arrives in, oh God, we're going to go with something happy like that.
Yes.
Yes.
But I will say, I do like when I have a shy, quiet guest and then I bell them. And at the end, I'm like, are you okay? And they're like, yeah. Like, but I need to go and cave for a week.
Not us. We're good with your energy.
No.
Trust me. It's great. It really
I love it. Thank you, girls. You are just gorgeous in what you do, and it thrills me. It tickles me right pink. I love it. I am going to watch The Conjuring when I get off from you. I'm going to flick through it and just see if I can find that sparkly, iridescent, glittery scene that you were talking about, and also the dinner scene, which time shifts.
Okay.
That would be crazy.
Yeah,
that would be crazy.
That's crazy because we haven't seen it. So
Yeah.
And I'll send
Thank
you
you,
my
girls.
pictures.
I'm going to see you soon in Australia, and then we'll do like 1,000 episodes of this with you in person.
Okay.
Nice. Okay.
Thanks for listening to Once Upon a Real Life with Belle. This episode was brought to you by ActiveFlex. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and leave a comment. And if you love this episode, go back and check out our previous conversations. There are so many stories you won't want to miss. Thanks again for listening.